We've had
this conversation.
I know, and you don't listen because you're stubborn. We've had this conversation multiple times.
I hate when guys blame equipment. So, and this is like behind the scenes stuff we're not going to show on the channel. And you're only going to hear about this on this video. Oh, hey there. This is my first day back to work after a pretty long elk season. But welcome to Dad Life. First things first is my son decided to miss the bus today, so I had to drive him to school. I want to show you an update on the house build, go over a couple of painful lessons that I learned that you might want to take note so you don't make those mistakes to have more success. But first things first, I need some coffee. So the first thing I want to go over is the backpack that I used this year. You know, I've tried every backpack on the market, I feel like. I went with Initial Scent, and I need to unpack it, clean some blood off of it, but I just want to go over it because I just realized that a backpack has got to be one of the top 3 pieces of gear that you pick. I've never hauled out double rear elk quarters in a single trip. I was able to do that with this pack this year quite comfortably, and I'm not a big dude. But the Initial Scent, pretty good system. I want to start with kind of how I learned about that, and then I'm going to move on to an archery sight that, this is going to be painful. This is an archery sight that I love, but I'm not sure it's going to work for me, and I want to show you why. I'm seeing this as a whitetail piece because November is coming. This is the Headwind from Born Primitive. I don't think it's out yet, but it's like this stretchy fleece outer layer, which I really like fleece for whitetail hunting, quiet draw. So I'm testing this out just around the place. So far I like it, I like the hood. Whitetail season is almost here for me. So with the Initial Scent system, this is their pannier. This is the 5K. So I just used this. This is that Blaze Orange from MKC. I used this to cut up that Montana bull, and then I used the paracord handle to hang up the quarters after I got them all back. And your typical kill kit stuff is a knife sharpener, gloves. This is where I keep my tourniquet and a couple other first aid items and band-aids. I always have a tourniquet in just in case I cut myself. And that's it. So I'm going to take this bag off and clean it. You notice I bring trekking poles. I typically use trekking poles in Idaho. It's just steeper in Idaho. I hardly used them in Montana. I hardly used them in New Mexico this year. I don't think I used them at all in Utah. Idaho's just built different. So that's good. Clean. So I'm going to pull this bag off and take it home and soak it in a tub with some soap and cold water and rinse it out and get some of the blood off. And we'll see how bad the frame is. It's pretty bloody. So just unattach here. That's good. On the back side, these are load lifters. So I just pop these load lifters out like so. Then leave the lid still attached to the frame, but now I can unclip here and pull the bag right off. So she's dirty. We'll take that home. That's our homework. Clean that up. These hooks right here is what I put. So on an elk rear quarter, you have that Achilles tendon. If you don't cut it when you're popping legs off, you shouldn't. You can basically mark a little hole and slide the whole quarter on, having it hang from there like you would normally, and that will just sit there perfectly. And then you have 70 to 75 pounds on this side and this side. You don't have them on the back, and so it doesn't like pull you forward or back. And then you can kind of keep your gear. So realistically, you could do a shoulder or a rear and almost do 2 in 1. So it really will save you a trip. So this backpack really shined for that. This is going to be some post-season cleaning. I'll take that home. That's my homework. This is the pack. Knowing your pack and where everything goes and making sure that everything's dialed became so apparently true to me this year. Backpack has got to be, like I said, probably your top 3 gear items. It's probably your weapon. Next would be your boots, because everything starts from the ground up, and last would be your backpack. Everything else, you kind of get away with mediocre stuff. The next thing I want to show you guys is something that pains me to show you, but it cost me a little bit of stress, and it made my Utah elk hunt, and this is like behind the scenes stuff we're not going to show on the channel. This is something that is concerning that you should know about. So this is the Excel driver. This is on my original lift. I can't show you the bow that I'm talking about that we just used. You'll see it soon enough. But with the driver, things move too much for my liking. That's not good. Getting to this stop is really important, and I've had trouble with this lever right here. So out of the box, without the stop being installed, this, once it comes and you lock it in, it shouldn't be able to move. So if I slide down, bring it back home, lock it in, I was still seeing it move. I need this lever, and you can tighten it as much as you can. But here's what happened to me, and you're only going to hear about this on this video. So when you see the hunt film, it's going to be more of a highlight, but I got to cover, like transparency Dan wants to tell you. So day one in Utah, pulled back on one bull, too young of a bull, let down. This was at the end of the day. I looked because I didn't have a side tape. I put this bow together on the side of the road. So I have 20, 30, 40, 50, that's it. And that's plenty for me on elk. So I got 20, 30, 40, 50. No slider, no side tapes. And so on the side of my tape here is a blank white piece of paper. And I just put a dot that signified home. And if I was home, then 20, 30, 40, 50. Into day one in Utah, I looked down after I let down on that bull, I didn't shoot. And my home indicator, which is higher than my home. And so even though this was on lock, it had moved up from going through all the little baby aspens, all the little baby poplars, all the thick brush had moved that down. And I was like, oh man, glad I caught that. That would have cost me, probably would have missed that elk. Day two, and you're not going to see this in the film, but you're seeing this now. When I shoot this bull, my first shot is at 50 yards. When I walked out of the door that day, I was at home on my little dot. Guide is my rangefinder. We have the same rangefinder. He's ranging the bull. He says 50. For me, I don't have to range the bull and draw. So I draw back, and he's giving me the range. He says, okay, that bull's 50. And the bull's 50. Broadside doesn't know we're there. And I get to the click on my Solix clicker, and then it breaks. And I'm thinking, you're dead. And he goes, you hit him low. You hit him low. I was kind of like shocked, but I also like snapped to it, like, okay, grab another arrow, load it up. A miracle happens. The bull comes 10 yards closer and turns broadside. So where did I hit him on that first shot? Right in the back of the elbow. Just right there. Had it been a normal shot, it would have been tight to the crease, probably double lung. It was about, 10 yards off. So instead of shooting for 50, it seems like I used my 40-yard pin, which I know I didn't. I used my bottom pin. Anyways, bull's closer now. He's 40. And I'm stressed out because I know that I just hit him. And at this ranch, if you hit an elk or draw blood, that is your bull. There's no, he'll be fine. You can keep hunting. So the stakes are high. The bull, with all his cows, moves closer to us, still doesn't know we're there, and turns broadside at 40, small miracle. And I'm thinking the first shot was just me. So I draw back. Guide says 40. I put my 40 right on his chest. I get to the click, and I get a clean break. And DJ's filming, and it's like he's perfectly lined up with DJ. DJ's got the shot, arrows left and right. It's perfect. It's going. It drops. It's going to hit him in the heart. Nope. It's going to hit him in the brisket. Nope. Goes right underneath him. He turns and starts to run. And the guide, luckily, cow calls, and the bull stops at 45 yards, quartering away slightly. And I'm thinking, I haven't watched the footage yet, but I know I'm saying something like, something's wrong with my bow. I just broke 2 good shots. I hate when guys blame equipment. So it's my fault for not noticing what I'm about to tell you, but the bow did the same thing it did the day before. It moved up And this lever I should have tightened down. But the tolerances on this driver sight are dangerous for y'all. And so I didn't realize this, but instead of being at home, I'm probably up, I don't know how much of a distance, but enough to where everything's hitting way low. So now I've drawn blood. I have to kill this elk. He's giving me a third opportunity. Guide says 45. I draw back. And it's a good shot angle. I have a good sight picture. And I take the 50-yard pin and I literally go pull all the way up to the top of his spine and just a little bit higher, aiming at daylight. The bull's at a dead stop and I get a last clean break. And DJ got that shot on camera and that arrow just, so bull's standing at 45 yards and I use my 50-yard pin and I put the 50-yard pin on daylight, not even on his fur. And it smokes him. That's luck. That's like, thank you, God. Oh, I blow. Well done. What's going on with my bow? That was a good shot. Dude, something wrong with my bow. Didn't know what was going on with the bow, but figured it out after after everything settled and looked around. I was like, okay, my home is not even at home. So I don't know if I'm going to use the driver for elk hunting specifically because you're carrying a bow around through brush. Sometimes I have 2 trekking poles and it's on my backpack. Sometimes I have to get it through a sea of mess and going through downfall. And these tolerances, how is that not going to mess with your second axis, potentially even your third axis, that I can move this sight and that this doesn't lock in as tight. So I think if you're going to run this sight, which is one of my favorite sights, you really got to take the time to lock that in tight so that if you push this lever down, there's no way it moves. And that dead stop, you have to have it in there locked so that it can't go past home up. If your sight goes past home up, even a little bit, you'll be like me, making some good shots on an elk and hitting low. So that was one of the biggest learning lessons for me. And so I'm in the market for potentially something similar to this sight with more durability. And when you're thinking about durability, you probably got to talk about black gold or spot hog. So we may be going down to the archery shop today to do a little shopping and then switch that out on the new bow that we'll get to show you in November. First, let's talk about the broadhead I used on elk this year. I killed 2 elk. That one in Utah, that debacle. So that last shot hit him pretty much through the liver and out right behind the shoulder. Never found the arrow. The bull went 60 yards from the shot, which was great. I used Iron Will standard single bevel 125 with bleeders, titanium 2-piece from Josh Jones Podium, 4mm arrow. It's an X10 Parallel Pro. This is definitely the most expensive, nicest, bougiest arrow that I know of, and I really like it. But if you're on a budget, this is not going to be the arrow for you. If you're on a budget, this is not going to be the component for you. That component is $10 per. Everything about this is expensive except for the lighted knock. This is a dang key up. A lot of people ask me like, well, what's the review on the lighted knocks? Key up, deep power, Kosakomu, 30-06. I swear they all kind of come out of the same factory over there overseas. I don't know. But to me, the key up seems to be the one that is the most best tolerances, best knock fit, breaks the least, brightest. And I literally bought so many of these that probably once a month I'll swap out knocks. And I'll just continue to do that. But I'm no longer spending anywhere between $10 and $15 on a lighted knock, only to have them not light up or break. The other thing is, yes, I used this index on elk. Yes, I do shoot this probably more accurately, but in the heat of the moment, I feel like this is always on my wrist. Number 2, it's a single hook, so I can get on the D-loop fast. And the click in this wakes me up, snaps me out of tunnel vision, I hear that click and I'm like, here I go. Get loud in your head. I don't have a click in this. So I will say for elk, I do like this. For whitetail, I'm going back to this. I can leave it hooked on the D-loop as my bow is, you know, in the tree, and then I can pick it up. I like my anchor better with a handheld, a thumb button, but I can shoot this pretty close to as accurate as this. And if I'm being really honest, I think I shoot a hinge more accurate than all of them, and I ain't hunting with the hinge. I'm not on your level. Okay, so when I'm gone for 30-something days, some stuff started to arrive. I'm going to go through it real quick. So this first one is from Jessica Smith. When you work with a company, they keep you pretty fresh on clothing. This is from Black Ovis. So Solomon, Black Ovis carries Solomon. Very affordable boot. That's another low-key, low-pro, great. You could even trail run in these. So this will be kind of an outer piece. Pack string, waffle knit, half zip hoodie. This is a quarter zip tech hoodie. Hailstone waterproof rain pant from Black Ovis. And this is the Black Ovis 3D filled pant. We'll have DJ try all this on, make sure it fits. Looks like we got some stuff from Tricer, just apparel and whatnot. Now I do run Tricer tripods predominantly, and the one I run the most is the BC. And I did make some short pieces on that, how I use the tripod to self-film with the action camera. And then it also doubles as my spotting scope. And I carry a pretty small, compact, it's the Vortex Razor spotting scope for open country elk. Then we have Prized Possessions, Skull Lock, large game. And he put an ElkShape logo on there. That's kind of cool. That'll have to be a full video in itself. Try that out. This is what I teach my kids. Nothing is for free. I promise you that. This is from Peaks. I hope this is that 0 degree bag. So I run the Peaks Solace 15 degree and I still get cold even in September. They just came out with a 0 degree. This is it. This would have been nice to have all month long. I'm very skinny and I get skinnier every day elk hunting. And so it's really hard for me to stay warm, especially between 2 and 4 a.m. when it's the coldest. Almost every night I'll wake up a little cold unless I'm running a hot stove or something. So finally a 0 degree bag. As far as archery hunting and elk hunting goes, I definitely have a lot of experience elk hunting, but I feel like I put out the vibe. I'm constantly trying to learn and evolve and get better and create separation through my preparation against the competition. The competition is myself. I'm always competing against myself, trying to get better every year. And that's what this whole platform is about, is making yourself the best version of yourself and understanding that you are fortunate to call yourself an elk hunter and that you can use elk hunting to make good, disciplined decisions year round, which is awesome. So I have a whole new wardrobe apparently waiting for me, which is awesome. For my kid, when he does his first rifle hunt next year, this is a Blaze cap and vest. Definitely. And we will put a mag view on this so that we can digiscope some of the archery stuff we do. I'm assuming you guys knew this, but with an angled spotter, if you loosen this, you can rotate it so that you can see, or that you can look down, just like a camera. I want to show you the progress of the house build here at ElkShape HQ. We will be moving back to Washington sometime in 2026. Give you a quick look at that. Then we're going to jam over to Spokane Valley Archery and do some site shopping. This is the Ranger 1500. Guys, I'm not a huge machine dude, but this literally was a treat. Even in the desert elk hunting, when it was cold in the morning, I could run the heater. I could cover really bad BLM roads fast. The suspension's amazing. Keep all my gear, take friends. I brought this to New Mexico. My dad put 1,000 miles on this thing in New Mexico. He loved it. And then I was just in Montana when it was really cold. This thing was awesome to be able to load up elk meat. It was 20 degrees out and it was just freaking cold. It's really nice. It's got AC, it's got heat, and it doesn't allow dust in. And and it's got a crazy suspension. I'm really grateful I got to use it. I really don't want to give it back. So they're putting on siding today. This is our house that we're building, and it won't be done till early spring. It's a rancher. It's all one story. My wife's done everything. We're working with a company called ElkShape, and they've been really good. There hasn't been too many days where nobody showed up, and they're putting on siding today. They got good weather for it. The roof's on. Once the siding's on, I think it's dried in, and then they'll start working on the inside. Apparently we're getting solar. I keep learning things. My wife is picking out everything, and it looks like she's setting me up to be able to retire when I'm 88 years old, which is really cool that I'm gonna have to work the whole life. But archery range, and then Josh's archery shop's right there, which we're headed there now to see what they have for sights in stock. I have kind of an idea what I want. They probably don't have it, but we'll go give it a look. And they're about to open, so we'll sneak in there right before they open. And if you got to know me in real life, I'll give you the shirt off my back, and I'll push you as hard as I can so that you are the best version of yourself. And I'm attracted to other people that are like-minded and want to work hard and stay disciplined. I opened my first gym in 2007. Before that, I was a strength and conditioning coach. I went to school for that, undergrad and grad. I've managed health clubs. I've managed sports performance facilities. I've worked with professional, collegiate, and amateur athletes. And then in 2007, I opened my own performance gym. And then it became a CrossFit. And then I opened 2 CrossFits. And then I got rid of 1 CrossFit. And then I sold my CrossFit in 2019. From 2017 to 2019, I was a firefighter for this fire station. This is where I spent most of my time. Now this fire station is under construction. Okay, Station 85, District 8. I spent most of my nights at that station. Obviously I worked at all of the stations, and I was a part-time firefighter, so I would do 1 24-hour shift a week. I did that for 2 years, and then I became a quitter. I quit because, quite honestly, ElkShape was taking up more of my interest. So when I quit firefighting, then I sold my gym, then I did ElkShape, and I'm still doing ElkShape right now. So I was only a firefighter for 2 years, mainly a gym operator, and I've been doing YouTube and media, let's just call it media, for the last 5 years. I don't go hunt and work out all day. Most of my time is spent either on the phone, emailing, editing, or planning content, executing content, traveling. Any questions? Here we are, Spokane Valley Archery. Let's do some site shopping. Like this? Hello, you have that? Remind me. I want to look at black gold because I got love for the black gold.
Goose?
Is this the dual track?
Dan, what if I told you that Spot Hog has the finest pins?
Is that a 19 or
That's
a
a 10.
Good. And then how's the brightness?
Very good. I've shot them to where almost dark and I can see
What
them.
about this versus a black gold for brightness?
Both bright, but you're going to have a finer pin on a Spot Hog. Because they don't burn them out, they don't blow them out. See that? Like it's an actual, just fed straight through.
Okay. Well, the whole purpose of this video is bulletproof.
Sure.
Y'all know Spot Hog makes the most bulletproof.
Oh yeah.
I'm done messing around.
Well, yeah,
What's this guy for?
That's your zero stop, so it goes right down here.
Yeah. We're going to need a zero stop.
So it does have a full first, second, and third axis adjustment, and you're going to switch out the mounts. So this was a hard mount. It'll now be a dovetail, which will fit the Matthews bridge lock. And that'll be close. But I undid Janice's leveling, so you're going to have to re-level it.
You're going to have to re-level it.
Oh my gosh. The one thing that I wish they would do is make this knob right here, like, I'm talking slightly bigger.
Yeah.
You can get this thing so tight that you like almost can't get it when your fingers are cold and stuff.
So that's your set, like that's your...
Yeah, that's your lock.
Okay.
So once that's there, like this cannot move at, I mean, dude, it's great. It's just great.
On the left and right, is it left, moves it left, or is it opposite, like I remember?
It is opposite. It'll say right
Oh,
there.
it does say, though.
So right moves it left, left
Yeah.
moves it right,
Okay.
which is a little annoying.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, and it's finer clicks than they used to have too. So it used to be like when you do one click at 80 yards, it would go from like an inch right to an inch left.
How come the indicator pins aren't individual?
Because that one's a fixed two. You can't adjust your 2 pins there.
Okay.
If you get ones that have multiple pins or like
So
the
it'll be
triple
what
stack,
it will be. I can't
Correct.
adjust this bottom pin.
Correct. It's like a Ranger pin on a driver. If you want to do a triple stack, it's gonna have that bigger
I do
housing.
not want a giant housing.
Oh, come on.
So that's what we'll do. What did you have for lunch?
Nothing.
I have extra food. Elk meat.
I'm not gonna turn down elk meat.
All right.
I would probably try both.
I don't know. We'll see. All right. Fellas, good to see y'all. Let me turn this.
Yeah, well, Michael's dumb. Just
You don't know how to set my pea pipe right. And his manager talked me into the Booney. And then you guys saw, I was like, Booney, dual track. And I was like, Michael, I can adjust the bottom pin on the dual track. And he's like, yeah, well, those pins are the nicest and cleanest.
These?
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Dude, hey, I haven't made a final decision yet.
These are nice. Don't get me wrong. On a 10,000s pin, dual pin that's fixed, this is actually relatively good. The pin is thicker. So if you put a black gold in this side by side and point it at something, the black gold's skinnier on the pin. Can you bend it? Yeah. Is it hard to bend? Yeah, but you can do it. I had my buddy shove a stick through his sight housing and bend it. That's not going to happen here because of the fin. But the byproduct of that is the size in that scenario. The black gold is just a little bit bigger on the housing, but just a tiny bit. It gives you the actual ability to truly zero stop where the sight stops at. This has a clamp on it.
Right.
So you can move it down to where you find your 20 and then clamp it. So the sight won't let you move, but you are sacrificing some of the movement of the sight to do that. With the black gold, you can adjust the whole unlimited range, which it's got maximum range.
I don't have to take a little screw out at the bottom and delete it?
No. Well, no, you do actually, because on the dual, they're going to put 2 indicator needles in it, and then they're going to put another screw in the side of it to stop the movement down so you don't jack up that needle.
Okay.
But I take the needle out and I take the screw out so I don't lose range.
Okay.
And then I just know what the distance between the two is.
I have a hard on for black gold. I'm not going to lie.
So that, number 1, is important. 2, I actually like the windage and elevation. So the up and down and the left and right are all click on those. Where this is not an up and down click, there isn't an up and down, it's an up.
Of course.
Because they're not separate. Black Gold's one of the only companies that actually does those 2 things separately. Most of them have one of these, and then the rail is supposed to be your up and down with coarse movement in the rail. They have micro adjustment on the rail, up and down, secondary to this. Because way back when they made pin sights, when they started making the slider, they converted their fixed pin sight that had an up and down and a left and right adjustment to the slider. Where most people, when they're designing their slider, aren't trying to readapt something different to it. They're just looking at it from a clean perspective. So that's why you have the non-up and down on most sites where Black Gold does give it to you. But the thing I really like about that is I like that the functional fixed movement can be stopped up and stopped down, and you can independently move everything else from that. So my zero stop at 20 is authentically a zero stop at 20, not a clamp or a piece that you bolt on that stops the movement.
That's fair.
Number 1. 2, the sight picture, in my opinion, is better than this, and any other one for that matter. The individual pins are really, really skinny on the 10,000s. The 19, to me, the 19 and this look about the same thickness.
Agreed.
A 10 looks about half as thick as that, and I really struggle with using the secondary pin when it's fat. Same reason I really struggle with the Ultra View. They're 15,000s and it's a big bar, and I can go off the top one. I can't go off the second or third one. My brain freaks out because it's like covering you. I can't aim.
Yep.
Right. So this is better than most, but it's still a little big. Then third, the Black Gold, the secondary pin moves up and down. So now I can determine exactly what I want.
How much
that gap
travel
to
do I
be.
have, you think?
Close to 20 yards, depending on how fast you are.
What do you
If
think?
it's slow, more.
You know me. I like typically for elk 4 pins to cover 20 to 50. Anything past 50, I'm going to slide to. I have time.
Yeah.
I do like to shoot mid-range weight arrows that are heavier than you like in the 450 range.
Yep.
What would I walk around at with my top pin And what would I set my bottom pin at?
So I would put my sight at somewhere around 32 yards on the top pin and then move the bottom pin down. So what I would really probably do is move the bottom pin down as far as it goes and figure out when that's at 50.
Okay.
And figure out what my upper pin is at. And that's where I would set
32.
it at. So it's probably like 32 and 50.
Okay.
Somewhere around there.
So
and then you're shooting anything. Because if your sight's set on 32 yards and you shoot 20, it's like 3 inches.
Dude,
a little low.
I literally was going to buy the black gold.
We've had
this conversation.
I know, and you don't listen because you're stubborn. We've had this conversation multiple times. So, and the other thing that I dislike, I mean, a lot of guys use a knob, and I understand that. I don't like my tape to be on the knob. It's hard to read.
Definitely.
Because your fingers are in the way, and you're looking at it like that, which I suck now, so I'm doing this a lot more.
I like my tape on the inside.
Yeah, I like the tape on the inside.
Say?
I got my first pair of cheaters. I bought them.
You did?
I did, and goddamn, I could see.
Are you running a verifier too now?
No, I can still see out there. It's like right here.
Okay.
It's like this distance is a problem. I can still see out here.
46 and got cheaters.
Yeah, it's very common.
Where are they? I bet you look good in them.
I got a picture on my phone that Jeff was sending to the group chat making fun of me. That I do look a little sophisticated. I'm not gonna lie. But the flat indicator needle on a flat tape, I can read it a lot easier, and it seems quicker to me when I'm trying to set it.
What about Black Gold's shitty pin indicators? Have they improved those?
I don't think they're shitty at all. Why, are they too big?
They're just kind of like a red, what's like a red triangle thing.
Yeah.
And they're kind of like...
It still looks like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it still looks like that. If you don't like that, you don't like that. But they also did go through their entire rail system and completely redesign it. So the occasional stripping out thing does not happen. Like they handed me one and go, here, strip it.
I've never stripped one.
I've seen a lot of them, but
I've seen your customers.
It's not. Yeah, it doesn't happen anymore. And the other thing I really like about the Black Gold, this will do it too, because you can adjust how much tension's on the wheel. I like the fact that I can loosen it and not lock it and shoot it and it doesn't move. That's a pretty big one to me.
Took away my most important question because I don't want to keep it locked.
Yeah, I want
to keep it wherever and it won't move unless I tell it to.
Yeah, now you can do that with a spot hog too. Like this is all the way loosened up, and this, like if I hit it, it'll move. But like firing it, it doesn't move.
Okay.
Now, if you did get to the point where it was moving, all you'd have to do is set this at a little bit of tension, but not a lot. Then you can still move it. It changes how much pressure sits against it. So that part is really nice.
And this now has a first axis adjustment?
This has the first axis adjustment right here. Actually, it's the rail and then here. So you've got here, here, and here.
Okay.
So it's not on the bubble.
Okay.
Yeah, the bubbles are fixed. They're glued.
So I need to go back to your shop.
I mean, this is a good choice. Okay, so don't get me wrong. This is a good choice.
Yeah, but
it's just the things that I prefer.
I have history with Black Gold.
I know.
The
things that I prefer, I thought when they came out with that sight, I thought they kind of really nailed the ultimate Western hunting sight.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And the only issue I had is we were stripping out. Like you'd get 1 out of 50 people bring you back one where the teeth pulled out of it. They're at 60 yards and it pops loose and now they're stuck. You can shove the sight up or shove it down and get it to re-engage. It's happened a ton of times. Well, last year, I guess it's been a full year. They redesigned it and you cannot strip it. It's solid. So I'm back on the dual track Black Gold bandwagon. I think that's the best Western hunting sight made.
Damn you.
For sure.
I love the driver, but there's just tolerances that aren't working for me right now.
Yeah, you're not the first person to tell me that.
Okay. I like the landslide a little bit better. I think it's more tolerable.
Well, it has 3-axis adjustments, not 2. So you actually do have the ability to adjust one over the other. I haven't ran into issues with that, but that was a nice plus. And I do think it's more reliable over the driver, but I still think the driver's a good sight.
Good sight.
And if weight is a focus in your brain, you're not going to find something lighter. Like
what's heavier between the Booney and the Black Gold dual track?
Booney. Almost positive. Now I haven't weighed them. I haven't picked them up and weighed them, but
I'd be surprised. We will weigh them today.
I'd be surprised.
I'm going to be switching out sights today. Damn you. This is good. That's why we
talked. Back to what I told you to use originally. This is adorable. Well, I love it. How much you want to bet he's going to lighter arrows in 2 years or
Ooh,
less?
I have no problem going lighter.
Yeah, you're 450, dog.
460.
460. Woo, man.
460.
Man, be careful. You're going to have a 10-inch lift and 44-inch tires before you know it.
I got a 6-inch lift. Do you want to rip the Band-Aid off? Here we go. Oh, good view though. We're at the top. It's beautiful. That was real honest work, meaning, I mean, there's no faking that. I like getting outside the gym. Yeah, we did it in 22:19 with a 30-pound vest. I had to stop twice for oxygen. I'd like to be able to do that unbroken. That was my goal today. I did not quite hit it, but I did set a baseline. It was about 50% zone 2 and 50% zone 3. And the climb was good. I got my lungs. So this is part of the training inside and outside the gym, the little Go Ruck vest. This is the day in the life. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you understand I'm a real person, and I enjoy hard work, and that's what we're selling. Smash the sub, and we'll catch you on the next one.